clearly cannot be trusted to pick my own books. So this week we are going trick-or-treating to find our reads. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brie and this is 4 Paws on a Book. This week we are continuing the spooky theme. It's Halloween, so we're gonna go trick-or-treating. And I have this cute little trick-or-treating bag. Oh wait, it turns on. Let me turn the lights on. And I have this adorable little Franken monster guy with lights, and he's holding every single book on my TBR in a little post-it notes. Okay, there's a lot of them. This week we're going to pick our books this way. Kind of mood reading, kind of letting fate decide. Here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to be picking 2 post-it notes out of here and then deciding between the 2 which one I want to read, and that's what we're going to do this week. They're all different colors based on genres. If I do decide like I want a specific genre, I can kind of mood read that way, but I think for this first one I am going to go in completely blind and I'm just going to pick out 2 and see what we get. So I got 2 different colors. This one I think is a thriller color, and this one I know is fantasy romance. So let's see what we got. Oh, okay. So episode 13 or Glow of the Everflame. Okay, so we have episode 13, and this I think is actually probably more of a horror than a thriller because there's a haunting. Fade to Black is the newest hit ghost hunting reality TV show. And this has a lot of mixed media in it. There's like text messages, there's transcripts and things like that. And I feel like this one will be really good on audio. However, my library has a big hold on it and Errands does not have one. So I'm going to read Glow of the Everflame. I do want to continue this series. I would love to catch up so that way when the 4th book does come out, I'm ready for it. You know what? I've just been in a romantic mood lately, and I do have the audiobook for this one. So episode 13 is going to go back into the trick-or-treat bag, but I did put the hold on my library. It's just like it says it has 6 weeks, so probably won't get to it, but I did put the hold on so that way when it does get there, I'll be ready for it. So Glow of the Everflame is the 2nd book in the Kindred Curse saga. I read the first one and absolutely loved it. I read it in August for Battleathon, gave it 5 stars, and had a really good time with it, and I'm excited to see how this continues, and I'm glad that I'm going to be picking it up close after reading the first one so that I remember what happened. I am 120-ish pages into Glow of the Everflame, and I am very much enjoying this. I like laughed out loud when they had an only one horse trope. You know, it's a funny like staple of romantasy, and I was here for it. But I'm enjoying this idea of DM like really finding out who she is and like discovering things and just like learning that she was lied to for most of her life and coming to grips with that because the people that she loved and trusted the most really weren't, you know, they weren't being truthful, they weren't being honest, and they may not have had her best interest at heart. So I am very much enjoying that. I'm on chapter 12. Still have like quite a ways to go. I mean, she a big thick book. Audible says I have like 7 hours left at my listening speed. Not gonna finish it tonight, that's for sure. I am exhausted today. I don't know why. I slept fine, but I have just been so tired all day long. And so I think I'm just gonna chill tonight. Might just order food. I don't know. I don't feel like cooking, and I definitely don't feel like doing dishes. So I think I'm just going to do that. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna listen to the audiobook. I am going to crochet some and just veg tonight. And that's fine. But I have something I want to unbox because it just came in the mail today. Try not to share my address. So you may be aware of the new bindery like publishing. It's kind of like an independent publisher where influencers pair up with an author. They pick the book and then like they get to promote it, and it's like a whole thing, and it allows authors to get some like influencer marketing and stuff like that. And so I actually bought one of the bindery books. I wanted to see what they were like, and this one seemed really good. This is from Jason, and I feel like him and I usually have like pretty similar taste in fantasy, not all the time, but especially with queer fantasy we tend to see eye to eye. And so first off, the cover was beautiful, the book was gorgeous, so let me show it to you. It's very shiny. But this is House of Frank by Kay Sinclair. It's got these really cute piano key edges, and this feels TJ Klune-ish, so I know it won't work for everybody, but I'm really hoping that it does work for me. Wow, this is like so, like, it's not pulling up on camera, but it's like kind of textured. Like it has a very like cloth, it's a cloth bound, and like this is stunning. The end pages are these like sheet music. It's so cute. So this says, a warm and hopeful story of a lonely witch consumed by grief who discovers a whimsical cast of characters in a magical arboretum. Powerless witch Syka is ready to enact her sister's final request, to plant her remains at the famed Ash Gardens. When Syka arrives at the always stormy sanctuary, she is welcomed by its owner, an enormous knit cardigan mythical beast named Frank. He offers her a role as one of the estate's caretakers. Overcome with grief, Syka accepts, desperate to pull off her final farewell to her sister. As Syka works harder in avoidance of her pain, she learns more about Frank, the decaying house at Ash Gardens, and the lives of the motley staff, including bickering twin cherubs, a mute ghost, a cantankerous elf, and an irritating half-witch, among others. Over time, she rediscovers what it means to love and be wholly loved, and how to allow her joy and grief to coexist. Definitely sounds more cozy than what I typically go for. However, I think it's going to still have like a really serious note to it, especially like dealing with grief, and I don't know, I think I'm gonna enjoy it. That's my update right now. I'm gonna chill for the rest of the night. I will touch base when I have some more to say. Hello! It is Wednesday. It's Wednesday afternoon. I took a couple of days of PTO this week. I had a very stressful medical procedure that I was basically working myself up all week, for probably longer than a week. I'll be honest with you. And it was today. It was this morning. And so I started off really slow. I just kind of took my time getting out of bed, and like I didn't sleep well last night because I was stressing about it. Here's the thing. When you have a procedure, do yourself a favor. Don't go on Reddit and read about the horror stories of said procedure. It's just not a good idea. It ended up being fine. It's fine. It was not nearly as painful as I was expecting it to be. But it's a rule that when you have a stressful doctor's appointment, you get to go to Barnes & Noble. I don't make the rules, but that's what we're doing. So I'm at Barnes & Noble. We're gonna go book shopping. And then I have a couple of other errands to run. I took today and tomorrow off because I wasn't sure how much pain I was gonna be in. And so I was like, okay, I can do my errands tomorrow if I need to. But honestly, I feel fine. So I did go home and like take a nap for about an hour, but then I woke up and I'm like, I feel fine. I'm gonna go do my errands now. And those errands include Barnes & Noble. And then I will talk to you about Glow of the Everflame, because I am halfway through it and I am having a good time. 2 books. One of them is actually for Derek, but I saw it and I had to get it for him. And that's the new Star Wars book, The Mace Windu, The Glass Abyss by Stephen Barnes. He really likes Star Wars books, and Mace Windu is one of his favorite characters in the Star Wars universe, cinematic universe, whatever. I have a couple of these books. I have not read one before, but I've read the YA ones, but not the adult ones. And so anyways, I got this for him because I want to do like a, you know, not date night where we read, but like, you know, at home where we like don't turn the TV on, where we read instead. And so I'm hoping that if I get him a new book, he will want to read with me. And then I got Air by Sabatir. This was one of my most anticipated reads for the last quarter. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. I think this is in the same world as Ember in the Ashes, which I still need to read before the end of the year. It's fine, but I don't think you need to have read that series in order to read this. And I've heard good things about it. That's what I got. I'm gonna go run my errands now. I have a couple of things that I need to get done. And that's that. Okay. Oh, I should talk to you about my book. It's fine. It's fine. See, I've had anxiety today. Really? There's someone's gonna pull up. This is like an almost empty parking lot. He's gonna pull up right beside me. Love that for me. I am about 50% of the way through Glow of the Everflame. I've been switching back and forth between the audiobook, which I'm really, really enjoying, but I also brought my Kindle to my doctor's appointment today and read a couple of chapters there. So I actually have the arc of the traditionally published one. They sent it to me on NetGalley, so this way I'll be able to knock that out. I am very much enjoying this. I like, we're definitely seeing more romantasy, and that was one of the things that, like, with Spark of the Everflame, while I loved it, it felt more like a YA fantasy than it did a romantasy. But oh my god, her and Luther, they're just so like, you know when you kick your feet, it's squeals and banter, and we love it, and because they don't like each other, but like they're trying to make it work, or they're trying to like live with each other, I guess. Anyways, I'm having a great time. But there's also such a huge world to this. There's so much, like there's a lot of politics. There's these different houses, and like this house doesn't like this house, and like it's very dramatic, and it's hitting all of my buzzwords. Fully expect that this might actually be my first 5-star read of October, because I haven't had one yet this month. We're on a good trend, a trajectory. I think I have a few hours left of the audiobook. Let me see. Okay, so it says at my listening speed I have 4 hours and 28 minutes left. So I should be able to listen to like some more of it while I'm running my errands, and then maybe I'll be able to finish it tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Because when I was reading it on Kindle, it only said I had 3.5 hours left. So maybe I physically read faster than I listen on audio. Wouldn't that be a twist? Hello, I am here because I have finished Glow of the Everflame. This was 5 stars. This was so good. Also, it's my first 5-star of the month. October has not been nice to me, but this was so good. If I had one critique, I would say that it's probably too long. It's a little bit repetitive. This is over 600 pages, and the third book is even longer. No, I do not have time to read the third one, but my god, the way that this book ended. I don't know if our characters are alive. Actually, I really don't. I mean, they have to be because there's 2 more books, but I think that not everybody is alive. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. This has everything that I want in a romantasy. It is such a good balance of politics and world building and magic and revolution, rebellion, and this huge external plot that I love in fantasy, but then also the kicking your feet and squealing because the banter in this romance is so good. I held off on fantasy romance for so long, and I think it was because I had read some bad ones, and I was like, oh, well, that's just not a genre for me. But I think this year, specifically, like I would say in the last 7 or 8 months, I have really found what I love in romantasy, and like really finding some superior books that are just fantastic. And I started my channel as a romance channel, and then I like kind of morphed into fantasy, and I feel like romantasy is just this perfect blend of who I have become as a reader, like blending what I started as and then like adding in just different layers. It's just, I don't know. Listen, it feels good. With that, let's go ahead and pick our next 2 books. Got our Frankenmonster here, Frankenstein, whatever we want to call him. And I honestly I don't know if I have a preference for genre. So I think we might just go in blind again and see what happens. I think we'll do that. Because like I'm definitely like still in the romantasy mood. I could definitely see myself doing that. But like maybe we want some variety. I don't know. Let's just do this. Trying to get just 2 is hard because they are sticking together. Sorry, I was trying to get them unattached. Okay, I think this color is Thriller, and then I think this color is Fantasy, if I remember correctly. Okay, this is The Chain by Adrienne McKenty. This has been on my TBR for so long. I have heard very mixed things about it, and like I'm always very hesitant to pick it up because some people just like, I don't know, people say that the first half is really good and then the second half really isn't. And so it sat on my shelf for so long, but I'm still like intrigued by it. I don't know. So maybe this is something that I need because it forces me to read it, I guess. Ooh, and then this one is a brand new one. Oh, how funny. This is like so backwards, but this is The 13th Child by Erin Craig. It's an absolutely gorgeous edition. It's got the gold sprayed edges. Let me see what I can do. I need to find an audiobook because you can't really see it. However, there are a bunch of books right down here on the floor. Last weekend, I like reorganized everything. I like went through a good purge of my shelves. Now I need to take all of the books that I unhauled that are on Pango downstairs into the basement for like those are where my Pango shelves are. I have a built-in wall shelf thing and I put them all on there until people buy them. Just to kind of get it out of the way because upstairs very small, so I need an audiobook to do that. Let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can find as far as an audiobook, and that will probably make my decision for me. Okay, that was way harder than it needed to be. Audiobooks are hard to find right now. Neither one of the ones that I wanted were on Everrand. They both had several month wait on Libby, which is weird because The Chain is not a new release. They're both on Spotify. That's where I ended up finding it because I was like, I don't want to use a credit, especially if like I DNF a book. So they're both on Spotify. And here's where I ended up making the decision because you get 15 hours of audiobook listening time. So The 13th Child is 16 and a half hours. And so I wouldn't be able to finish it on audio. And The Chain is 10 hours. So we're going to read The Chain. I also think that this is probably the better option anyways because I don't know when I would pick this up outside of one of these types of like, you know, random something picks my TBR. This is a domestic thriller, but it's like really, really psychological and messed up. And I do love me a good psychological messed up thriller. You just dropped off your child at the bus stop. A panicked stranger calls your phone. Your child has been kidnapped. The stranger then explains that their child has also been kidnapped by a completely different stranger. The only way to get your child back is to kidnap another child. You are now part of the chain. I'm gonna go in with like tempered expectations because I have heard just very mediocre things from just about everyone about this book, but who knows, maybe I'll like it. I am 20% of the way through The Chain by Adrienne McKenty and I am absolutely loving this. I am having such a good time with it and I'm so scared because I know that everyone likes the first half more than the second half. Like most of the reviews were like, you know, I didn't really care about the subplot that was happening in the second half of the book, and I can kind of see the little breadcrumbs that they might be hinting at, but the main plot is so good. It's an interesting, unique thriller, and I think that it would actually make a really good visual media. It's such a unique concept, I guess. Like having like a bunch of people basically like trying to save their loved one by doing crime. You know, our main character is so overrun with this anxiety and terror of her daughter being killed by this stranger, and she's also like overcome with this guilt because she's like, my daughter shouldn't have been at the bus stop. I should have been there to pick her up. So like she shouldn't have even had a chance to be kidnapped and stuff like that. And so then now she's trying to, like, she has to basically put another parent into the same situation that she is in, and she has this guilt for that, but at the same time, at the end of the day, she has to save her daughter. That is like the end all be all. And so I don't know, like I'm having such a good time with it, and the audiobook for it is so good. I'm having a good time. I'm having a great time. So anyways, I will definitely be finishing it today. I will probably give you an update when I come out for my lunch breaks. I didn't bring my lunch today, which means I have to go somewhere, but who knows, I may have finished it by then because I kind of just want to like knock it out this morning. Like I'm kind of like ready to get back into it. I haven't listened to it at all this morning, like while getting ready. I tend to, like, my mornings are usually like while I'm getting ready and stuff like that, I'll watch YouTube and stuff, and then in the morning I will usually not listen to an audiobook on the way to work. I'll usually listen to one on the way home, but not on the way. So that's kind of my morning routine. So I haven't done that, but it's Monday, and so I know I have a lot of like catching up and stuff to do, and just a lot of work that I have to get done today. So do I know what it is yet? No, but yeah. I need to sit down with my planner and figure out this week. That's what I do on Monday mornings. But anyways, it is way later than I should be getting to work. That's fine. I don't care. It's supposed to rain tonight and maybe snow. I don't think we're gonna get snow all the way down into the valley, but I know the benches of the mountains will be getting snow overnight. And so that's fun. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. But that does mean like a really cozy evening. I will have the football game on tonight, but it is not a great game. It's not a team that I care about, but it's football, so I still like have to have it on. It's just the thing. But yeah, I'll probably be reading. I didn't quite get this finished today. I ended up like having to do a bunch of phone calls, stuff like that. So didn't quite get it finished, but I am 60 pages away from the end. So I wanted to touch base with you because I'm going to lose light and I'm not going to be able to talk to you tonight. So we're going to discuss this and then I'm going to pick my next book. And then tomorrow morning I will tell you what my final rating is. But I need you to know that I'm still having a really good time with this. And I am enjoying the second half of it. I do think that it's two very different stories. It's like, it's weird because the book like wrapped up at the beginning, right? Like the first, like the chain aspect of it, it felt like it was concluding, and then I was like, wait, I'm only halfway done. This is weird. And so then there's like a whole nother like season 2 almost is kind of what it feels like. And it's unhinged and it's crazy and it kind of feels like Finley Donovan gone super dark. It's kind of the vibe I'm getting. She's about as dumb as Finley Donovan. We'll just put it that way. I don't know, I'm still like invested. It's a popcorn thriller for sure. Like it's not doing anything revolutionary. You know, I'm still having a good time. Also, I need to discuss the meta-ness of this book. There is a mathematician in here and he talks about numbers, and he specifically talked about the number 77, and he said all stories should end with 77. I went and checked. There are 77 chapters in this book, and like that's so meta, and he did that deliberately, right? So anyway, this is good. I'm having a great time, which I'm glad because I was worried about it, and I'm happy that I finally got it off of my TBR. And this is one of those things that, like, you know, you're so worried about other people's reviews of books, and so then it sits on your shelf for longer than it might necessarily need to, and you might find a new favorite. Not saying this is a favorite, but like it's sitting at four stars is what I'm kind of feeling right now. I think I guessed the ending, so I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, anyways, I am going to go ahead and pick my next book though, because I'm gonna like take my makeup off and put comfortable clothes on, and I'd like to know what I'm reading next. So that way I can like find a Libby hole if I need to. Alright, so our Franken monster. Let's turn on his lights. Not the blinking one. Here we go. Did we just go in blind again? I feel like that's just been kind of fun. And honestly, I don't know what I want to do. I am not in the mood to make decisions today. That's how this Monday has been. Okay, I think this is actually I can't remember if these are thrillers or romances. The colors are very similar, and like unless I see them together, I can't remember. It's romance. Okay, so we've got Taste Like Shakar or Ready or Not. These are both contemporary romances, both ones that I am interested in reading. Not necessarily ones that I was in the mood for right now though, but that's what the bag chose. So let's figure it out. I'm gonna pick Taste Like Shakar. This is the second book, I think, following Dating Dr. Dill, which I read a couple years ago and I actually really enjoyed, had a good time with it, and I've heard even better things about this one. So that's exciting. I'll come and talk to you about it once I know a little bit about it. I don't know anything about it actually at this point. But it's gonna be like a fun like rom-com time. So that's all I know. Okay, well I am gonna go finish the chain tonight, and I'll talk to you later.
Is that my voice in the background? Would you stay by me and stick around? Is that my voice in the background? Would you stay by me and stick around?
come to you with some bad news. Not like permanently bad news, but I am going to be soft DNFing Tastes Like Shakar. Here's the thing, I'm just not in the mood for a contemporary rom-com. I'm just not in the mood. Like this, I think has potential to be a good book. I think the messaging is really interesting. There's like this really fun banter between the two main characters, and it's like, you know, as hate to love as you can get with a contemporary romance. I'm just not in the mood. I don't want to read contemporary romance. Like this feels like a spring, like it's talking about weddings and stuff like that, and I couldn't get invested in it, and so I don't want to give the book a low rating because I think at another point of the year I will like it. Not spooky season, okay? So we are going to pick one more book and kind of, you know, try to end this on a high note, okay? So let's do that. So I guess that means I should pick a specific color, but like I still don't. Do I want to go with horror? Like I feel like I need a horror for spooky season, right? So we're not going in blind this time. I think I want a horror. I think that's what I want. And so I need to find these red ones. Like the pinkish, dark pink red color. Listen, I don't know. I just want one of you. Okay, there's one. All right, we have two horrors. Leech. Okay. This one I've heard is not gonna show up. There we go. I've heard that this one's kind of slow. That worries me a little bit. Ooh, okay. Or The Carrow Haunt by Darcy Coates. I think we have to go with that one. Even though I have read like 4 Darcy books this month, I don't even care. I don't even care. I think we have to go with The Carrow Haunt because I don't know. The slow horror is just not, I'm not in the mood for that today. So let me go grab it. I cannot believe how much Darcy I am reading this month. I think every single one of my vlogs this month has had a Darcy book in it, and I'm kind of here for that. I'm kind of here for it. This definitely is going to knock out a lot of my unread Darcy books, and I love that. She was my most read author in 2023, and she's very, very close to being that for 2024. I think Sarah Simone might have her beat. The dead are restless here. Rami is a tour guide for the notoriously haunted Carrow house. When she's asked to host guests for a week-long stay in order to research Carrow's phenomena, she hopes to finally experience some of the sightings that has made the house famous. At first, it's everything they hoped for. Then a storm moves in, cutting off their contact. I love a storm trope. Things quickly take a sinister turn. Doors open on their own. Seances go disastrously wrong. Their spirit medium wanders through the house at night, seemingly in a trance, but it isn't until one of the guests dies under strange circumstances that Remy is forced to consider the possibility that the ghost of the house's original owner, a twisted serial killer, still walks the halls. Why have I not read this book yet? This sounds so... Okay, I feel like we're gonna end with a bang. This is what we're gonna do. I'll talk to you a little bit later. I am working from home today, so I'm just gonna have this playing while I'm running all of my reports. It's the end of our period. Even though it's on the end of the month, we have 28-day periods, so they're always weird. So I have a bunch of reports to run today. One more thing that I forgot. It's literally been 2 minutes. I know it's counterintuitive to try to do a TBR where I'm talking about my physical books and like trying to read those down, but I have a book haul. However, neither one of these will add to my TBR number because they're duplicates. It's fine. So I sold a ton of books on Pango. So I had a bunch of Pango books. And I bought books because of that. So here is what I bought. Actually, I only got one. There's only one here. The other one is a pre-order. Okay. The Marriage Effect. I talked about this in my reorganization that I accidentally got the discreet cover of this one, and so it didn't match my other copy. So I found this on Pango for like $5, and so I got it. And I'll just sell my discreet copy. I actually might, because I got it on Prime Day, so I might still be under the window for returning. I don't know. This one is my pre-order, and I'm very excited about it. It's the special edition of The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is the book that made me a reader, a book that made me like who I am today. It's got the sprayed edges. It's so pretty. This back of is the Evelyn letter. My dearest, I always promised I'd tell you the full story one day. The secrets, the lives, the love stories. Seems so clear to me now that I spent much of my life chasing the wrong thing, but I found what I was looking for along the way, and for that I am exceedingly grateful. I do not claim to be an honest person or even a good one, but I am finally ready to tell the truth. All my love, Evelyn. All my love, Evelyn. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. And then look, I have to show you these end papers. So pretty. The same one on the back. Anyways, my hardback copy of The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is a book of the month copy. It is so beat up. The spine is so broken. I have read that book so many times. It's annotated in colors that I like don't use anymore because it was just like random colors, and so they're like bright neon, but I don't want to get rid of, I don't want to change it because that book means so much to me. And then I have a paperback copy of it somewhere that was Derek's because he wanted to read it when we first started dating, because it was like the one book. I read his favorite book, he read mine. He didn't tell me his was 1,000 pages long, so I feel like he should have to read more of mine, but that's neither here nor there. But he's like, well, I don't want to read the one that has all of your notes and annotations because like I'll be spoiled for like something coming up. So I bought him the paperback copy, and now I have this one. Oh, I also have, hold on, I have to show you because this is now, wait, this is now my 4th copy of Evelyn Hugo because I have, hold on, I also have it in Portuguese. So when we went down to Brazil, I bought a few books that I really, really loved in Portuguese. And it was the funniest thing because we were down there with his sister, and I was like, oh, I wanna find a bookstore. And she's like, I don't know that we'd be able to find one that like has books in English. And I was like, I don't want them in English. I want The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo in Portuguese. Obviously I have not read this book because I don't speak Portuguese well enough to be able to read. Look at that, look at that, okay. All right, I'm good. I'm gonna go work now. Hello, I am on Patreon sprints with Leandra, but I wanted to touch base with you guys because I'm almost halfway through this. It's like 40%. Page 156. I am having a good time with it. Like, as always, Darcy has great vibes. However, I feel like we rushed into the conflict really fast. And so because of that, I don't really know who these characters are. And that's one of the things that Darcy does so well is characters, and like you really empathize and you care for the characters and you don't want anything to happen to them. And so when there's, you know, this issue like of like, you know, we just jumped into the conflict, I don't care yet. And so that's the only thing. But the vibes of this, so good. We have a poltergeist, we're having a seance, we're summoning ghosts, we're summoning spirits. It's a great time. It's definitely not a favorite of mine. It feels like the worst of the Darcy books I've read this month, in which there have been a lot. But I'm gonna continue reading. So we gotta finish this tonight. Halloween is tomorrow. All right, it's much later. I'm still sitting in the same spot. Just got off of sprints. It's like 9:45 at night, but Leandra and I were talking for about an hour afterwards, trying to predict Goodreads Choice Awards. So that means I'm very, very behind. I am on page 223 of this, and I need to tell you about this thing, okay? So the last time I talked to you, I was like, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not really like having any reactions to it. And then I'm really glad that I was not reading this while I was eating, because this woman had a wad of hair in her wine glass, and the visceral description of it. Blech. Blech. No thank you. No thank you. We are currently trying to summon some spirits. I'm not sure that we're doing it well, which is probably terrifying. It's probably not great. Shouldn't do that. But yeah, that's where we're at. But I am going to sign off here. I mean, I'll talk to you. I'm gonna talk to you in the morning when I close this vlog out and finish this book. I think I have, hold on, I'm gonna check. At my listening speed, I have an hour and a half left. It might be like tomorrow morning that I finish it. I need to go take a shower. I'm not gonna come and talk to you again tonight. I'm gonna take a shower, and then I'm gonna put my earbud in. We'll see how much I get read tonight before I fall asleep, because it's late. We are 3 days away from daylight savings time ending. It is 7:30 and it is almost pitch black outside. So apologize for that I'm having to use my like car lamp. But I have an important update for you. Ignore everything that I said yesterday about this being my least favorite Darcy. It's not my favorite, but the way that wrapped up, Darcy is a literary genius. Literary genius. The reason you don't know much about the characters is because it's very singularly focused. You only really know what happens with one character. Like, you only know the backstory of one character. And as she gets, because like, there are a bunch of strangers that are in this house that have come together for like seemingly mysterious, possibly nefarious reasons. And as we go along, we have more, like, we learn more and more, and it slowly unveils itself. And by the end, you absolutely care about it. I will, however, agree with most people in Goodreads, on the Goodreads reviews, that the ending wrapped up too much. Like, everything's in a nice little bow. There was almost like no consequences for what happened. I almost feel a little bit, is gaslit the right word? I don't really know. Like, I almost wish that we would have just continued with I don't know how to talk about it without spoiling, but just say that like things got undone. We'll just say that. And so it felt a little bit less serious, less like, I don't know how to explain this because I would spoil it. But I think I am gonna settle on a 4.5 because I stayed up way too late reading this book last night. Like, had the AirPod in, listening, could not sleep, had to finish it. So that's where we're at. And that's a wrap. Thanks for hanging out with me this week as I, chaotically picked books. Some were big wins. Actually, I really don't think there were any like complete misses. Like, I DNF'd the one book, but I think I'll come back to that. Like, I'm not going to unhaul that book. I want to read it. It's not a spooky season read, and I wasn't in the mood. So that's the only reason. Like, but I think probably come spring, I will want to revisit it. So yeah, because it had good messaging. It's like a plus size main character. She, a little bit grumpy, a little bit like, I don't know, just like not your typical heroine. So I think I will like it when I get to it. I just didn't want to give it a low rating for not being in the mood and that being a me thing. But other than that, I think we had a pretty good week. So that's a win. Just as a heads up, as you are watching this, if you are watching this on the 31st, today is the last day to sign up for the top tier of my Patreon if you are interested in getting this bookmark, because if you sign up today, I will add you to the list of people getting the bookmark that I'm going to send out this weekend. So if you're interested in that, no pressure. And I will send a new one out every month. So there's still some spots left. I do have some big plans for November and December, the end of year as quickly approaching. I do have some vlog plans, and then I will be focusing quite a bit on romantasy and the Goodreads Choice Awards. I'm going to be vlogging the top 10. But if you are interested in seeing what I'm predicting will be nominated, I did a Goodreads predictions video, and I'll link it right here if you want to go ahead and check that out. And if you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little button you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, Goodreads, Twitter, and my Patreon are linked in the description below. Thanks for watching. Happy Halloween. Have a good day.